Good morning, movers and shapers. So, when I work out, I get all these ideas and think of things I want to share with you, things, just little tidbits of stuff that made a difference for me. And one of the things I focus on with my coaching and TLS systems is low glycemic index or low glycemic impact eating. And the glycemic index is a ranking on a food on how quickly it affects your blood sugars. So a high glycemic food is going to affect your blood sugars. You're going to get an insulin response and you're going to go into fat storage. Low glycemic foods have little to no effect on your blood sugars, therefore, no insulin response, therefore, fat burning mode. So that's the goal, is to not be spiking your blood sugars and be a constant state of fat burning. So, how do you lower the glycemic index of a high glycemic index food? Three ways. Three ways. Fat, probably not the best way, but there's an old diet, South Beach diet. That's how he did it. He was a big proponent of extra fat in your diet. Not a good idea. I mean, there are healthy fats. That's a whole nother story, but let's just, in general, you're not going to want to use fat. Number two is protein. That's a great idea. Protein builds muscle, and we need extra protein. But the third way is fiber. And fiber is my option of choice because most people do not consume near enough fiber. So a little added fiber is never going to hurt. And there's that saying, protein and fiber with every meal makes staying healthy, staying in shape, no big deal. So let me use an example. White rice, basically like eating a bowl of sugar. It's very high glycemic. It might taste different here, but from here on down, your body's going to respond the same. You're going to get a blood sugar spike, you're going to get an insulin response, and you're in fat storage. So now you could put butter on it or olive oil, and that's going to reduce the glycemic index of that white rice. You could add protein, maybe some ground chicken or turkey, maybe some fish, some salmon, and some seasonings. That's going to lower the glycemic index. And I prefer, well, if I have to eat rice, or if there's rice somewhere, I always carry with me ground up chia seeds and flax seeds. I would sprinkle that on. In fact, I did that with my kids when I made, they love the Aunt Jemima pancakes, drove me nuts because it's just basically a ball or a pancake of nothing, just glue, paste, and no fiber and high glycemic. So I sprinkled flax seeds and chia seeds on it because it lowered the glycemic index. It was a slower release of sugar into the blood, so it gave them more sustained energy, and it wasn't this blood sugar spike, insulin response, and then crash while they're at school before lunch. I always made sure they had a very high fiber breakfast. So anyway, those are your three ways. Fat, not the best. Protein, second best. And I think best is fiber. Just have ground chia seeds and flax seeds in the house, and I sprinkle them honestly on everything. Whether it's high glycemic foods or not, I try to stay away from high glycemic foods. But if for some reason I'm indulging, I'll sprinkle that on there. So that's my little tip on how to keep your foods low glycemic. Oh, but I did want to tell you, you can also screw up the glycemic index of a low glycemic food, like vegetables, for example. If you process them, the more you cook them, like if you boil them to mush, you've lost all fiber and it's now become a higher glycemic index food. Cooked carrots versus raw carrots, huge difference. So you don't want to overcook your vegetables or over process them. I love pureed soups. I like mushy foods, so I will do that. But now I've processed the glycemic index to making it a higher glycemic index. So then I always sprinkle the chia seeds and flax seeds in there to add the fiber to now lower the glycemic index again to closer where it was before I processed it. All right, just a couple little tips on keeping your foods low glycemic. Have a great day, movers and shapers, and don't forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel and go to my website, shapers.com. Okay? Thanks, guys. See you later. I'll be back with more tips.